my god, I'm actually tearing up now. I miss her so much. She helped me so much. Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. I didn't even intro this video. I just sat down and started chatting. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? But I'm back today with an old school style YouTube video. A chatty get ready with me. I haven't done one of these in so long and I used to love filming them, so I'm going to bring them back. So yeah, I just sit down, get ready and answer a bunch of your guys' questions. There was a couple of things I want to update you guys on as well. And yeah, let's just dive right on into the video. If it looks like I was crying 10 minutes ago, that's because I was crying. I was clearing my SD cards to film this video and I realised that I didn't have my SD card that has the last footage I have with Lady before she died, my little dog. I couldn't find it. But I had a little coffee and I changed my mindset. I was like, Jessica, look, if it is gone, if you have lost this SD card, it's not the end of the world because you have all the memories with her in your head and they're the most important thing. I'm just so funny with things like that. Like, I'm so sentimental. Like, I love having photos and videos of things because I feel like I don't remember as much as I do if I see a little snippet of a certain day. Like, if I see a photo, that can flood back so many memories for me that I wouldn't have otherwise remembered. And I don't have many videos with Lady, so oh, it's just one of them things. I'm starting off with the NARS Radiance Primer. I got this a few months ago and I actually don't know how gone I am on it. Like, it's not my favourite primer. I definitely prefer the Inglot Mora Elements collection one, but I'm nearly all out of this, so just gonna go for something a little bit different. As I was talking about in our Get Ready With Me on Mel's channel, I have had an insane breakout the last like month and a half. Like, this is the worst breakout I've had since I last cleared up my skin, which I showed you guys. I did a video documenting that. It's finally starting to calm down a bit now. All of these over here are just scarring, they're not actually spots. I've got a couple there and a couple on my forehead, but I'm not waking up with new ones now. That it's kind of just what's already on my face coming to a head. But I have changed up my skincare routine. So I was using Biofresh, which is the skincare brand that cleared up my skin 2.5 years ago, and I used that for the last 2.5 years. That's why I never really talked about skincare, because I hadn't changed anything. You know, if you find something that works for you, why change it? I'm just using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in NC10. I find this is like one of the few foundations that really cover up the redness when I am having a bad breakout. Like, the last 2 years when my skin was really clear, I very rarely wore foundation. I was more so just going in with like a tinted moisturiser or a BB cream. But now, because I am having quite a lot of breakouts, I like to go in with a light cover of foundation, and I do find this one amazing. Yeah, so I was using Biofresh for the last 2.5 years, and then in the last like 2 months I was just started getting these mad breakouts and my skincare wasn't helping at all. So I was kind of like, there's no harm after being so long. I'm going in with the Cash Beauty bronzing stick in Shady Beach. I absolutely adore this, it's incredible. I always warm it up on my hand first. So I actually ordered myself some of the La Roche-Posay Effaclar duo range. Like, I got their toner, their cleanser, their moisturiser, because I had heard amazing things and they had really good reviews. So I was like, feck it. But I actually think that the products were a little bit too harsh for my skin, because they're all for acne prone skin, and I find with my skin, like, I'm better off using very hydrating products. If I use a lot of very drying products, it just strips all the oil from my skin and it starts to make my skin kind of peel, and it makes like my spots very dry. Not a dry where it's going to heal up your spot, but kind of a very flaky dry where like even putting makeup on it looks awful. So I only used them for about 2 weeks and I was kind of like, I don't think my skin's really vibing with these. I like the moisturiser now, but I feel like the whole range, because they're all for acne prone skin, I was like, no. So I've actually started using the Bondi Sands skincare. I was at an event last week and they're after bringing out like a bunch of skincare. Well, it's been out for ages in Australia, but it's actually been working really well for me. They've got a serum called Begin Again, and it's for kind of breakouts to help diminish the appearance of them, and I actually think it's been doing absolute wonders for my skin. I've been using the cleanser, their serums, their eye cream and their moisturisers, but once I find a solid skincare routine that I'm using consistently. I will share it with you guys, but yeah, like sometimes we've got to switch things up, but I hate switching things up because I'm such a habit of or a creature of habit, a habit creature. I haven't filmed a get ready with me on my own in years, and partly why I haven't is because I kind of fell out of love with makeup. I've fallen back in love with makeup now, but it happened during the lockdowns, during the pandemic, which I feel like happened to a lot of us. Oh my god, can you see that? I thought that was a big fucking spider. It's just a load of my hair. Oh my god, on another note, actually, loving the long evenings, loving the weather, but I cannot be dealing with the amount of spiders that I'm finding in my room. Hello. There was 4 spiders in my room last night. It was like 11 p.m. I was ready for bed, and every time I looked up, I could see one crawling up the wall or on the ceiling. You should have seen me here last night. Oh my god, the screams. But I've really fallen back in love with makeup again, so I want to start doing some more content like this because I used to bloody love it. But can you guys see what I'm doing all right, or should I zoom you in a little bit more? Zoom you in a little bit more? But yeah, I've got some questions that you guys asked me. So a few of you guys asked me, how is therapy going? So this is something that I actually really wanted to talk about. So it is currently the end of a chapter for me. She's left me. She's abandoned me. I'm just going in with the MAC Studio concealer in NC10 again. But yeah, she's after getting a new job. So she's moving county and she's moving pretty far away. So I cannot continue to stay with her because she is in the public system. Like, she's not a private therapist, and I'm not gonna lie, I've really struggled with it because I have never been in this situation before. This is the first therapist that I ever had that I gelled with, that I clicked with, who actually really fucking helped me. I think the hardest part of it is that I was going to be able to stay with her for like years more if I wanted to. Like, I was going to do a different kind of therapy with her. So I did 1.5 years of DBT, and I was going to go into trauma therapy because she said I really need to do some trauma therapy. Like, there's stuff that happened to me when I was younger and stuff that I've never really spoke about and has affected me hugely, so we need to get to the bottom of some of them things. But I had it in my head that she was going to be my therapist for years to come, and I was so happy with that. And then, like, one day, only a couple months ago, about 2 months ago, like, I was in with her for a session, and she told me that she's after getting a new job. It was a really hard decision for her to make, but she's going to be leaving. So I had about 2 months where I kind of knew the time was coming up, but I didn't know the exact date when she'd be leaving. And then I went in one day and she was like, yeah, so next week I'm going. Like, I had like 1 more or 2 more sessions with her, and I was just like, God. So the week just gone is the first week I have not had a therapy session in 1.5 years. But it still doesn't feel like she's fully gone yet, because, you know, it feels like maybe I've just had a break for a week. I'll be seeing her next week, but no, she's changed her phone number. I have physically no way of contacting her. It's been real shit though, because like with her, like, it felt like just kind of like an aunt or an older sister. Like, she felt like my friend. She didn't feel like a therapist, whereas any of the therapists I had in the past, I just never had that feeling. She was just one of them therapists who really fucking gave a shit and really cared, and I had never had that feeling in the past with any of my other therapists. I feel like that's so important with therapy, like, to feel like your therapist actually gives a shit. And yeah, I just had a really good relationship and connection with her, so it's been a challenge accepting that it's kind of come to an end and I'm not going to be able to progress with therapy with her. I'm just going in with the Cash Beauty blush in the shade Poppin' Peach. So yeah, with therapy, like, she was my 7th therapist that I'd ever been to, I think. I first started going to therapy when I was 15. Like, oh my god, crazy to think about. But yeah, and I never stuck at it that long, like, because I never had a very good experience. And it just shows how important your therapist is, because I'm just going in with some lip balm because my lips do be so hook and dry when I'm doing my makeup. I'm going in with the Cash Beauty highlight in Angel Energy. These are all cream products. I absolutely have fallen in love with cream products in this past year. they are just insane, and if you're not using cream products, you need to get yourself some honey. But yeah, I just never had any kind of connection with a therapist before, and I just always had very bad experiences. So after so many years to have found somebody that was so great, and then for them to leave, it's kind of like a kick. I suppose what has made me realise is that there are incredible bloody therapists out there, and that I will find somebody else I connect with. So my plan now is to take a little break from it. I kind of spoke to her about it, like we were kind of decide, because obviously I could go straight into someone else, but she kind of recommended that after doing such an intensive therapy program, it's kind of best to give yourself a little bit of a break before you go into another one, because if I'd be doing trauma therapy next, obviously you're kind of diving into the past a lot, and that can be a lot to deal with in itself. So I'm going to have a little break, maybe after summer. I might look for someone again and see how that goes. But I have realised that off the bat if someone's a good fit for you, not a good therapist, but a good fit for you. I'm just going in with the Essence Lash and Brow Gel Mascara. I got my brows tinted last week, and it is a game changer. Like, I get them done about once a month, but when I have my brows tinted, I won't go in with product. I'll just go in with a bit of a brow gel, because I don't need to. Like, they look perfect. But if they're getting a little bit unruly, like in about 2 weeks time, I'll have to start filling them in because they're getting a little bit crazy. I always thought, like, because I didn't have good experiences, like, you need to give it so many sessions before you know. But my first session with my therapist that's just left, I knew from get-go that, yeah, click, this is great, this is so helpful, this is just what I need. And it's kind of like any relationship. Like, when I first meet someone, I can instantly tell if we could be friends or we'd get on great or not. Like, if somebody's your kind of person. I feel like the same goes with a therapist, because it's an extremely close relationship you guys have, and that relationship can't be compared to another relationship with someone, Don't get me wrong, I definitely had my tears, oh my god. The last day in her office, like, a week and a half ago, I went in, right, I got her a bouquet of flowers, and I went in, and I sat on the chair, and oh my god, I'm actually tearing up now, I miss her so much. She helped me so much. Oh man, what the fuck? No, Jessie, you can't do this. Why am I so emotional? Yeah, my last day with her, like, I went in and I sat on the chair, and, I think she was just like, how are you? And I was just like, do you know when you cannot speak because you can't even catch your breath, so you can't even get your bloody words out? So I was like, and I was just sobbing because I was just so sad that it was going to be the last session that I was going to get with her. And when I was leaving, I was like, can I give you a hug? And she was like, of course you can. And she like gave me a proper hug, and I was just sobbing. Like, I don't think you're meant to get that attached to your therapist, but it is what it is. I'm just going in to set my under eyes. I'm all on my little lonesome now, but let's move on because I've been talking about her for a while. What is bringing you the most joy these days? Honestly, the thing that is bringing me the most joy at the moment is my horse riding. I haven't really spoke about it over here, but I started horse riding in November, and it has been the best bloody thing that I have done in my adult life. And I don't say that lightly. I have just lost the brush that I was using, and I'm going to go insane. So your girl rides horses now. So when I was younger, I did a very small amount of horse riding, but I didn't do horse riding, kind of consistently. I did an odd few lessons. I remember actually asking my dad about it recently. I'm just going in with the bronzer all over my lid as well now that I was using the Cash Beauty one. I was asking dad about it recently. Like, I was saying, why didn't I do horse riding lessons consistently when I was younger? Because I loved it. Like, I remember when I did do the number of whatever I did when I was younger, I bloody loved it. And I had a friend for a period of time, and they had horses themselves. I'm nearly sure I did something with her as well. But he basically said, like, me, Melanie and Andrew, they brought us horse riding a couple times, but Melanie and Andrew weren't into it. And because they weren't into it, and it was 1 versus 2, we obviously couldn't keep going horse riding because they had to do something that the three of us would kind of enjoy. That was kind of why I didn't do horse riding consistently, but I don't know why I didn't pick it up like when we moved out here when I was like 8 or 10 or something. So yeah, in November I was kind of like, fuck it, like I'm gonna start horse riding lessons. Why not? And I always felt like, oh, you know, you're too old to start it. You know, it's kind of something you need to be doing when you're younger. But I was like, but why? Like, says who? So I was kind of like, fuck it. Give it a go, see how I get on, and go from there. So I started it, and I bloody love it. Oh my god, so I go once a week. It's funny because I was only talking to my instructor on Friday about this, and I was asking, would they have many, you know, adults or like people my age kind of starting, and she was saying no, like how anybody who has come back to horse riding as an adult, most people did it as a child or grew up around horses as a child, so I'm like the minority. Like very few adults would actually start horse riding if they hadn't done it before. And it got me thinking, and I was like, oh my god, that's the case with like most things, I feel like, with us. Like, unless we did it as a kid, we very rarely as adults will like dive into a totally new interest or hobby. I was like, why is that? Like, is it of fear of not being good at it, or is it fear of not being good enough? Or it's like, why the hell don't we just push ourselves a bit more? And if there's something that we have an interest in or are curious about, like, give it a go, and if you don't like it, you don't have to continue it. But I'm just so happy that I gave myself that little push with horse riding, because it's great. I've done probably about 20 lessons now, because I started in November and I've probably missed maybe about 4 of them. Maybe like 17, 18 lessons or something. It's just so nice to have a hobby that is just solely for you and nobody else, and you do it because you enjoy it and know the reason, and it's just such a nice feeling. Because obviously YouTube used to be that when I started, like YouTube was such a hobby for me. I was fucking obsessed with it, but then obviously it also turned into a part of my work, so obviously that changes the dynamic a little bit. So it's been just so good picking up. Someone asked, how did you grow out your fringe? It's a pain in the arse. You are telling me. It was the bane of my existence for like the last 2 months. Oh my god, I'm going in with the hula bronzer now. God, it was so stressful. I genuinely don't know if I could ever get a fringe again, solely for the growing out process. But then some days I'm like, I miss my fringe so much. The bit that I struggled with the most growing my fringe out was when it started getting to the length where you couldn't wear it as a full fringe anymore, and I was trying to like part it in the middle, but it didn't want to part in the middle, obviously, because my hairs wanted to go straight down, because my hairs had been that way for like the last 2.5 years. So it wouldn't kind of part any way for me. It was just part in its own way, and it was looking insane. So how I fixed that, and I figured this out myself. I'm pretty proud of myself because it worked like an absolute gem, because everyone was like, it's just something you have to stick with, but this really helped. So when I'd wash my hair and I'd get out of the shower, I would blow dry my fringe down just the way I normally would, and then I would part it, get the part where I wanted it. So I want a middle part, so I would get my hairs parted the best I could, and I would clip them on either side, and I would just leave it like that for about an hour. Like, I'd pot about, do my stuff, whatever, and then I'd take the clips out, and it would stay that way, because you basically have to train your hairs to go the way you want them to go, and they've been going their own way for so long. And I only did that about 4 or 5 times, and it worked an absolute treat. But yeah, it worked so well. Like, that was all I did, and ever since then they've just been getting longer by the week, and they're finally at a stage now where they're not pissing me off. They're still very hard to kind of style some days, but they're not in my face anymore, and that's all I really care about. I'm going in with the Kat Von D blush in Phony. This is a beautiful shade. It's just like a really nice pinky tone. Somebody said, would you ever cut your hair shorter? Do you know what? It's something that I've toyed with a lot of times. The thing that's turned me off cutting my hair shorter is, I know I'm going to get to an age where I'm going to cut my hair short and it's going to stay short forever. Like, probably when I have a couple kids and, you know, you've got a house and your kids and a job and all this stuff, the upkeep of long hair, it just doesn't make any sense. And you very rarely see older women with long hair as well anyway, because, you know, shorter hair, it just suits you better as you get older. Like, imagine being like 60 and having hair down to your ass. So I know there's going to be a day where I'm going to cut my hair short and I'm never going to have long hair again. So I'm kind of just like, I'm as well to keep my hair long until that day comes. Just going in with the Essence Choose Your Glow palette with the middle shade. Actually, I'm going to mix these two. But yeah, I know I'm not going to have long hair forever, so I think I just want to keep my long hair until I'm really sick of it. But I love my long hair. Like, I've always had long hair as young as I was a child. Like, my hair used to be down to my ass when I was like 10. I wish I could find a photo. I'm so upset. One of my all-time favourite lip liners is literally gone. Like, that little tiny head you can see is all that there's left in it, and all the writing is worn off, so I can't remember what number it is. It's from Inglot. I think it's 57. I've had this for like, it's lasted me so long. Like, I wear this all the time. I'm going to try and get a little bit out of it. I had to laugh because I saw somebody commented on one of my old videos there a couple days ago. I'm going in with the MAC lipstick in Hug Me. I only picked this up a week ago when I was in Dublin, and it's so funny because I went into MAC and I was looking for a nude, and she was showing me the most popular nudes, but a lot of them were showing up pink on me, and that just shows how your skin tone really determines how products and the colours of them are going to show up on you, because a colour that might be pink on me could be more nude on you. And that's insane. The comment was under a video, and in the video someone had asked me if I had had lip fillers, and I had said that I didn't, and how I don't think I'd ever get lip fillers. And they commented under this video being like, she said she'd never get lip fillers, but it's so obvious that she has now, isn't it? And I'm just like, it's such a compliment because I haven't had lip fillers. I maybe overline my lips a little bit more than I used to sometimes, but my lips are the same size. And I just find it so funny when people think that they've like caught you out for something, and you're like, I literally haven't changed anything. And I'd be so open if I did. Like, I would never hide getting something done, because I feel like it's so unrealistic then for like people be comparing themselves and stuff. So yeah, if I ever had that done, I'd be honest, but I wouldn't have the balls. The next question is, how are you recovering from 2020 pandemic? I feel like we're all starting to heal. I'm just going to go in and do a little winged liner. I've been loving using brown eyeshadow to do a winged liner because I feel like it's so much softer, and I've just been loving it. So I use the Carnival palette, and I take this really the darkest shade here in the corner, and I just spray a little bit of Urban Decay onto it, and then dip in my little liner brush just to kind of make it a little bit easier to use. But yeah, we're all definitely starting to heal. Oh no, why did I do that? I normally spray my brush. I just sprayed the whole eyeshadow. You stupid bitch. Oh, it's absolutely soaking now. Oh. The thing that I've realised the most is I'm not able for what I used to be able for. And I'm naturally a lot more introverted anyway. But I find a social situation now with a lot of people just drains me a lot quicker than it did prior to the pandemic. And a lot of that obviously has to do with the fact that we were inside for so long and we didn't have these social interactions with so many people for such a period of time. But yeah, it just, and even the build up to it, like the anticipation for things is so much more than it used to be. But it's also been so bloody lovely because even like I went to see Dua Lipa live in concert there about 2 weeks ago, and I felt like I was going to a concert for the first time all over again, and I had the best bloody time, and I was on absolute cloud nine leaving because it was just so fun. So I feel like in a sense it does feel like you are experiencing things for the first time again, and that is really exciting. Going in on my waterline now with an Essence brown liner. Oh my god, I just dug myself in the eye. But yeah, I really want to go to Greece this year. I really want to go over to London. I want to go to Spain maybe. I've actually never been to Spain, would you believe? Like, anytime I tell anyone that, they're like, what? Like, everyone and their bloody dog has been to Spain, Jessica, and I'm like, I know. The last time I was away, it was like the start of 2020. I went away in January, but it was for a work thing. I went to Germany, but I didn't even get to see any of Germany because I was just solely there for work. It was just the studio hotel. So I'd actually love to go to Germany because I've never actually explored Germany either. But yeah, so the last holiday I was on was in 2019, which feels like a lifetime ago now, because even like 2019 me versus me now in 2022, like, they're two totally different people. Somebody asked how to forgive yourself for mistakes in the past. we are only bloody human, and there is not one human in this world that has not made countless mistakes, but it's all about how you are viewing your mistakes. Because you can either send yourself into a total spiral, or you can turn it into a learning curve and something that you can use to better yourself and better your life going forward. Like a lot of mistakes that I've made, I wouldn't have learned them things if I didn't fuck up and I didn't make that mistake. I truly believe, and I know we all have different beliefs, but I truly believe that everything that happens to us happens for good reason. Like, I don't believe that things just happen. I truly do believe that all the shitty things and all the mistakes and all are for us to learn from it. Because imagine, like, we never fucked up and we never made mistakes. Like, how bloody boring. You wouldn't learn anything. You'd never improve yourself. Anytime I've made a mistake or I've fucked up, I've genuinely... You know, you're entitled to be upset about it or have your moment, but after that then, kind of sit with yourself and be like, right, it's happened. Like, it is done now. There is absolutely no amount of tears or no amount of being angry at myself or fucking hating myself that is going to change this. So, like, that's all a waste of time. But if I look at what I can take from this mistake, and whatever I can take from this is something that I didn't know before, this is in a way a good thing. Like, you know, I know it's not a good thing, but there's something good in every bad. I feel like you've just got to take that pressure off yourself and realise that you are human and talk to yourself like someone you love. Like, how would you talk to someone you love who's after fucking up and making a mistake? I'm sure you wouldn't sit there telling them that they're a piece of shit and a waste of space, like you're probably telling yourself. No, you wouldn't. You'd be really compassionate and kind and understanding, and that's exactly how you need to treat yourself and talk to yourself when you've made a mistake. Up until our deathbeds, the day we die, we're still going to continue to make mistakes. That's never going to change. So it's better to accept that that's just part of life, unfortunately. Somebody asked, favourite thing about yourself, physical and mental. I'm just going to go in with a little bit of that brown under my eyes as well, the same colour that I went in with all over my lid. Favourite thing about myself mentally would probably be that I'm a really good listener. I feel I've been told that I am a really good listener a lot as well. And I feel like I really hear people, and just in the sense of like being there for people. Like, I feel like people can really lean on me, and it's something I've been told a lot. It's not just me being like, oh, people can lean on me. And then physically, I'd say my eyes. But eyes are often my favourite physical feature on other people as well, because you're like looking into their soul. I just feel like people's eyes are so bloody beautiful. And I'm going in now with the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. Guys, if you do one thing, just get yourself some Essence mascara. They are incredible. This waterproof one, great for the emotional days. Incredible. Honestly, I've cried so many times with this mascara on and it's never come off. But yeah, I like this one if I feel like I'm not going to cry. I feel like I could do with making this wing a tiny bit thicker, but I don't think it's really worth it. Like, I don't think they're that different to risk ruining it. Remember when I always used to wear false lashes? Like, I never used to film without false lashes. Like, if you go back to my older videos, every single video I have the thickest lashes on. And again, over the pandemic, I just stopped wearing false lashes because obviously I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't just going to be bopping around the apartment or the house last year with false lashes on. And I prefer now how my face looks without them. Oh no, my camera battery is flashing. That is not a good sign. I'm gonna wrap it up here now before my camera dies, but I'm literally just finished. So this is my kind of go-to makeup at the minute, especially while my skin has been breaking out. I know it looked like I used a lot of products, but it doesn't feel very heavy on my skin or anything. I don't like my skin feeling cakey. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these going forward, and I will see you all super duper soon. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much. Bye!